I barely remember it. We were talking about 2178. I remember that. And I think yesterday's morning show, though, was something special. And anybody who hasn't seen it, it's called Why We Call It Cannabis. I believe that's the title of that show. And it should be one of the flagship episodes from the podcast catalog that I put out there. It really was handled well. It was said well. I basically hit almost every point that I wanted to hit, almost. And, if you guys want to further the cause of this show, that would be the show that I recommend you share around. It's called Why We Call It Cannabis, I believe, is the title. I believe. I just realized I did not title the show, did I? I wonder what the title was from last night. Whatever the title was from last night, it's probably... Can somebody tell me what the title of this show is? I just realized I don't think I titled it. Yeah, I didn't title it, right? I wouldn't. Does anybody know? Anyone? Anyone? No? Because Nay said so, says Carrie. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Steve, Randy, Bronco, Debbie. Ja. Not disagreeing, but how... Oh, it's from last night's. But how and why do I know it? Ja, it has a lot to do with studying people like Dr. Guy McPherson and anecdotal evidence that I've witnessed here in Northern California where I live. How I order more. Scott Michael. Yeah, go to naysgarden.com, Scott. naysgarden.com. And Enrique, why life as we know will end by 2178. Thank you, Enrique. Yes, great. I'll want to talk about it again because I don't think I really hit all my points last night. Thank you, Miss Rafferty. Strength. NLRC, the beginning of the end. Kevin Vaught. I want to go back to this question. It's a good question. Ja Wombat says, not disagreeing, but how and why do you know this? I base it off of something pretty anecdotal. So stick with me on it. It's not going to take long. And it's anecdotal, meaning that it's something that I've witnessed myself. Okay? I'm going to refresh the chat. Kevin Vaught, NLRC, the beginning of the end, was the last chat that I saw. So I'm refreshing it because I'm not getting any chat numbers. But yeah, I'm going to walk you guys through this, and it's a very, very short walk. This is the anecdotal evidence that I have that life as we know it is ending. I base it off of the pine beetle. And I base it off of trees that are 120 years old. So the evidence is 120-year-old trees are being taken down suddenly by the pine beetle. Good morning, Cheryl. Do you believe in the Bible? Carrie Ann Petrosky is asking me if I believe in the Bible. Carrie, you've known me for a long time. Why would you ask me that? Carrie, it's almost like you don't pay attention to the things I say on the show. Kind of funny. Anyhow, I'm not going to digress to that point. The pine beetle has suddenly started taking down 120-year-old trees in my yard. These are trees that are over 100 feet tall, that are, 5 feet at the base. They're pine trees, and they've been here for over 100 years. Now, up until the last couple of years, these trees have been fine. Every year, every season, growing, getting attacked by pine beetles, fending them off with the water that they take and the cool air, and able, when it cools down, to fend off these pine beetles every year. And then suddenly, about 5-6 years ago, all these pine trees started dying. And it was sudden, and it was stark, and you could literally walk through my neighborhood and see trees dying. And what that tells me, being the average uneducated layman knowing nothing about climate change, is that something has enabled these pine beetles to suddenly prevail. What could it be? Well, I did a little research and come to find out that the warmer it gets, the easier it is for a pine beetle to destroy a tree, because the warmer it is, the less water there is, and water is how a tree defends itself against pine beetles. It sucks up the water and it grows and it fills the holes that the pine beetles make, and it closes them off, and it uses tree sap, and it requires moisture and water in order to do that. So the drier and the hotter it gets, less water, easier it is for pine beetles to attack. Well, why didn't this happen 50 years ago? Why didn't this happen 75 years ago? Why didn't this happen 100 years ago when the trees were 20 years old? Because it wasn't hot enough back then. So then I checked out this guy on YouTube, and his name is Thunderfoot, with 2 zeros. And Thunderfoot said, the earth is warming, and no human being alive will ever witness a day when it cools. In other words, it's going to get hotter and hotter and hotter. And every year is going to be the hottest temperature on record. And each year will go past that. Thunderfoot's a freaking scientist, right? I believe science. I believe the things that I can see with my own eyes. Now, there was one other anecdotal little piece, just a little tiny piece of anecdotal evidence that I like to use. Just a tiny thing. And my neighbor and I were just talking about this. He said, well, we've always had fires in California. I said, I know we have. I said, but we've always been able to put them out. And now, in this day and age, we have the highest firefighting technology that we've ever had in the history of the world. We know how to fight fires better. We've got the best airplanes. We've got the best helicopters. We've got the best people. And we've got the best technology. And why all of a sudden can't we put these fires out? Just a little tiny bit of anecdotal evidence. Well, it might be because it's so hot and it's so dry all of a sudden that these fires have more fuel. These fires burn a lot easier. That should make sense to everybody here. If anybody wants to try to pick up a baton and run against me right now, feel free. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start smoking, and I'm going to leave the floor open for anybody that disagrees with me to just try and argue my anecdotal evidence, the pine beetle and the fires. Just 2 little things right here in Northern California, right here where I live, literally on my property. Literally. Try and argue it. Anybody? I'm leaving the floor open so I can get a bong rip. All right? And I leave it open to you. Anybody out there dissenting from this line of thought so far? I mean, we're just starting the conversation. It's not where I wanted to start it last night. I got sidetracked yesterday. But this time, we're walking right down that path, and I want to make sure you guys are all with me. Enrique Gonzalez is a history and science buff, and so far he's agreeing with everything I've said. Thank you, Enrique. I love the support. Thank you so much. I'm just waiting for anyone that wants to... I want an argument. Well, Ricky, argue then. What's your point? Make a point. Ricky's like, I want an argument. What are we arguing about? I love this guy. Okay. Ricky, your side of the argument is that the world is not going to end by 2178 and that we're going to just keep on going. We'll colonize Mars. We'll become Battlestar Galactica and the human race shall prevail forever. That's your side of the argument. My side of the argument is no, we're not. And go. I leave the floor open to you. The subject is global warming. Not really, Scott. Not really global warming. It's global extinction. It's global extinction. Warming is definitely a giant part of the conversation, but it's not the subject. The subject is total life extinct on this planet by 2178. Nothing left. Not even a fucking microbe. Nothing. No life. Why the year 21... Missy Rafferty Strength. Can I call you Strength? Thank you. Thank you for asking a great question, Missy. I'm going to answer that question, Missy. It's a great question. Why the year 2178? How did you come up with that specific number? And it's a great question. Ricky Martin says global extinction is a myth. It hasn't happened yet, Ricky. It can't be a myth because it hasn't happened yet. Of course, you just lost the argument, Ricky, because it's scientific fact that the Earth isn't going to be here forever. One day, the sun is going to burn it up. The sun's going to get bigger, and the planet is going to disappear. So you're wrong, and I'm right, and you've already lost one massive point. Global extinction definitely will happen. So you're already a fucking liar, Ricky. I mean, please, man, I'm trying to give you... You said you want to argue, and I'd love for you to argue, but listen, there's a rule when you argue with me, you can't lie. You can't be a fucking liar. That's not arguing. That's just you lying and making yourself look bad. We will go into the center of the earth and live happily. Yeah, Rick, you're just being silly. Like I said, where are you gonna get your fucking food from, Ricky? From the center of the earth. Where are you going to get sunlight from that humans require to survive under the earth? How are you going to grow plants? How are you going to feed your livestock? It's like you don't even make sense, Ricky. I mean, I want to argue with you. I really do. Ricky's like, no, I lose. Ricky, bring me your parents. Bring me your grandparents and bring me your whole bloodline. I want to argue all of them. Bring me everyone, man. Bring the whole fucking tribe. All right. Somebody's always trying to put a year on it. That's not possible. Scott, we're going to get into 2178. And when I tell you how I came up with the number 2178, your minds are all going to be blown. Those of you who don't watch the show regularly, and let me tell you something, most of my viewers already know how to come up with that number 2178. And you'll know how to do the math here in a second too. And all it is very simple math. All right? And math conquers all, doesn't it? That's how we landed on the moon. That's how we built the fucking Brooklyn Bridge, right? With math. That's how we build skyscrapers and fly planes and launch rockets into the outer space. It's all math. Math doesn't lie. So, let's go ahead and do this. I mean, Evel Knievel jumped the goddamn Grand Canyon, Fucking math, baby. No law regarding cannabis. Cannabisism, tis for all. Happy 420. Oh, perfect timing. I didn't even realize. Cheers. I love it. Love it when it works out like that. Hey, Frankie. Thank you, Karsten. All right, we're gonna answer these questions. All right. Do I believe there's an army of spaceships on the way? No, Ricky, I don't. I don't believe that there's aliens that have visited this planet ever. So there could be aliens out there, but I don't even really believe that now. It's about probability, and that's a whole other discussion. All right, let's get into it. Nay, how'd you come up with the number 2178? Well, one day I was curious because I was listening to Guy McPherson speak, and he was talking about extinction. And I started asking myself some questions. You know, I had some questions in my mind. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to Google these questions, and together we're going to Google it, and we're gonna see how I came up with 2178. Okay? All right. Okay, Google. Total number of species on the planet.
8.7 million. Here's a summary from Nature. Most precise estimate yet suggests more than 80% of species still undiscovered. There are 8.7 million eukaryotic species.
All right. So we've got 8.7 million species on the planet. Now, we're discovering 50 species every day. Now, when someone discovers a species, it doesn't mean that someone has discovered something like the cow that we could survive off of. Of course not. When someone discovers a new species, it could be something microbial. It could be something under the ocean. It could be something that lives under a leaf in the goddamn jungles of the Amazon. It could be something at the bottom of a river marsh. It could be tiny. It could be a snake. It could be a snail. It could be any living thing that you can possibly conceptualize in your mind. We discover 50 of those every day. So when you're like, well, Nay, you said there's 8.7 million species, but we're discovering 50 a day. So that number's increasing, right? Well, this is where it gets sticky, all right? Yeah, we're discovering 50 species every day, but we're losing anywhere between 150 to 250 species every day, going extinct every day. Now, there was a study done in 2011 by a team of Australian scientists, and they wanted to know how many species are going extinct every day. And they said, well, it's somewhere between 150 and 250 species going extinct every day. So you do the math on that. Let's say it's 250, right? But we're gaining 50. So take it down to 200. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is just simple math. We're discovering 50 species a day, but 250 species are going extinct every day. I know that sounds crazy to you, but this is what they've discovered. Now, when you do the subtraction on that, you want to come up with a legitimate number that we lose every day. You could take that down to, say, 150 species, okay? Because if they say that we're discovering 50 and we're losing 250, there's somewhere in between there, that's the amount of species that we're losing every day. So let's just say 150 species every day, which is probably less than what it really is. Given that every day since 2011, it's been getting warmer. And that rate of extinction is definitely increasing as this heat kills off more and more species. Okay, so I took that number, 150. I said, so let's say we lose 150 species a day. How long can we go on losing 150 species a day if we have 8.7 million total species on the planet? So I said, what's 150 times 365 days in the year? Okay, Google. 365 times 150.
The answer is 54,750.
54,750. I want you to write that number down. 54,750. That's how many species are going extinct in a year. And that's from a 2011 Australian study. And you think that number is increased, you goddamn right it's increased. But we're going to go with the 2011 number. Okay? 54,750. Thank you, Ricky Martin. Now, if we have a total of 8.7 million species on the planet and we lose 54,750 species every year, how long can we go on with that? Well, let's do the math. Okay, Google. 8.7 million divided by 54,750.
The answer is approximately 158.90411.
158.9. 158. Okay, 158 years. What is it, 2020? Okay, Google. 2020 plus 158.
The answer is 2,178.
Simple math. It's simple math. It's simple science. And I'm not a fucking scientist. I'm not a brainiac. I don't claim to be. All I'm saying is I'm an average layman that can just do simple math. And when somebody told me that there's 8.7 million species on the planet and that we lose 54,750 of them a year, I just divided. I just divided the number to find out how long can we go on losing 54,750 species every year. It was simple. And this is what blows me away. Is why aren't other scientists doing this simple math? I mean, if the information is out there. Oh, maybe it's because they have children and they're indoctrinated and they don't want to think about their children dying. They don't want to think about their grandchildren not having a life. I understand. I've thought about this for a long time, man. And it's lonely. It's lonely. It's a very lonely feeling. But you know what? I've got all of you. And a lot of you that have sat through the show for years, you've heard me go through this math over and over again. And you're starting to understand it. And you're starting to realize that, the sun has, very little to do with destroying the entire planet being something that we need to be concerned about when our species are literally going extinct. I mean, there's nothing left, guys. This is all just Google. It's not me. I didn't make up any of those numbers, and all of you have access to the same information that I do. And when I told you that there's 150 to 250 species going extinct every day, you guys go ahead. Every time I Google that, the first time I Googled it, boom, the study came right up. The next year or two that I Googled it, boom, study would come right up. It was awesome. I'd ask Google, and you know what? They're starting to fucking hide the study now. They're starting to hide it. And when you ask for that specific study, it's very hard to find on the internet. I don't know why. It was legitimate. I remember I sourced it out. They were legitimate scientists. It was a legitimate study. Look, Chicken Mommy, that's just a racist fucking, your whole persona is racist, so you can suck my dick. And I'm not even going to entertain what you said. I would have had you been a legit human being, part of society, but you want to be a little racist fucking prick, a little dick, and you need to just go fuck off. You're not part of this conversation, and you're not part of this community. If there's one thing I fucking hate, it's fucking racists, just so you all know. Used to be one, so I can spot them real quick. Google is a slut. Google's my slut. I'm spanking that ass every day, Ricky. I capitalize on Google. I'm literally broadcasting, right? Using Google services. I've got people on YouTube watching. I'm broadcasting to YouTube, which is Google. And I don't know what, okay, Google. Okay, Google. It's not working.
Here are some things you can do when your phone's offline.
Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Okay, Google. List of social media's platforms owned by Google.
According to Internet Health Report, Google owns YouTube and Tencent owns QQ, WeChat and Qzone. Facebook is rocketing above the others, adding 1.196 billion users across its different platforms in just 1 year.
I hope Mark Zuckerberg steps in front of a fucking train in the next 5 minutes. Fucking piece of shit. Water temperatures killing fish. Expose in session. Expose. She is mine, actually. Oh, she's yours? She's your bitch? Right on, Ricky. Well, she's a whore. She gets around. Roger, roger. I understand clearly. Can you send a link to the study, Ricky? I'm gonna look it up for you, man. It's really hard to Google it and find it, but I'm gonna find it. It's a 2011 Australian study, so I'm gonna write in 2011 Australian study on global extinction. It wasn't global. It was. Here, let me see if it comes up. Oh, did I mistype it? Oh, I mistyped it. Journal of Biogeography. I don't know if that's it. This is from 2011. It's May 2011. Let me see if this is. So hard to find this study now, man. I'm gonna find it for you guys, man, because I'm gonna save the link once I find it. No, this is Australia-based study. This was a world study. Reveals new insights into extinction. Right. Okay, that's not it. Let's do it like this. Let's take out Australian. Yeah, and maybe it wasn't Australia. Oh, no, it was rate of extinction. It wasn't global extinction, it was rate of extinction. Okay. There are a bunch of 2011 studies, okay, about are we in the middle of a sixth mass extinction? And then one came out in March, it's funny, and then an opposing one came out in May saying that it was overestimated by 160%. It's so funny. I remember seeing that one too. And when I checked out the source, I was like, yeah, it was a bogus source. It was just a debunk, it was just somebody trying to debunk it. This is from 2011. Berkeley. Just see if it's going to mention the rate. This one is not giving the numbers. It's saying that in the past 500 years, a minimum of 80 to 5,570 species of mammals have gone extinct in the past 500 years. This isn't the state. This is not the study. This is a blog. I came across a blog here. Okay. The mass extinction is almost here. Study published this week's issue. Oh. This might be it. Huh. I'm so sorry, man. I wish I had a link to it. A 2015 study by Yale says 8,700 a year. Yeah. You used to just be able to ask Google, it would come right up. This is the same fucking blog I just read. Dude, why do they do this? It's like they fucking hide the shit, man, and they make it look like you're seeing the study. All it shows are overestimation, but you can't find the original anymore. I remember last time I tried to find this article. New York Times. It's 2020. 2019. You put in the year 2011 and then all these other fucking years come up. Amphibians facing terrifying rate of extinction from 2011 November. It was early in the year if I remember correctly. Historical bird and terrestrial mammal extinction rates. A recent study, Fisher and Blomberg. Is that it, 2011? That might be it. Let me put in their name. It's like fucking hidden. You used to just say, ask the Google and it would say it. Conservation of species is an ongoing concern worldwide. We examine historical extinction rates for birds, mammals, and contrasted island and continental extinctions. Australia was included as an island because of its isolation. Results: only 6 continental birds and 3 continental mammals were recorded in standard databases going extinct since 1500, compared to 123 bird species and 58 mammal species on islands. Of the extinctions, 95% were on islands. 9800 times the background rate undocumented history. Or now suggest that conservative strategies for birds and mammals and be based on island extinction and that on islands are key factors. This is not it at all. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know where it went. The Guardian. here's a PDF. Let me see what this is. Dude. Dude, this fucking study is so extensive, I don't even know where to start. What these motherfuckers did. Has the Earth's sixth mass extinction already arrived? Is the name of it, right? And it's from March 2011. You've got 4 researchers. One's from Berkeley, one's from Kyoto, one's from Australia, and another one's from Berkeley, right? Oh, there's more. But there's 8 of there's a bunch of these guys. They all worked on this. And I'm looking for the fucking abstract. How differences between fossil and modern data and the addition of recently available paleontological information influence our understanding of the current extinction crisis. Yeah, they were studying it back then, but I don't know if this was the study, man. Look at all of these scientists that were in on this. I don't care about your fucking study, buddy. You keep putting it up there. I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to pull the one that I read several years ago from 2011, man. That's the one I'm looking for. I'm not looking for your fucking study. You understand that? Stop being a little narcissist. Jesus fucking Christ. You know, after that study came out, all kinds of people tried to fucking debunk it. And I'm sure you found another one that tries to fucking debunk it. The only problem is this. None of those fucking studies are taking into consideration that it's getting worse every year. You know? No one wants to be like Guy McPherson and look at and see this snowball effect that's going on with climate. It's getting warmer and cascading extinctions, but we haven't gotten there yet. Dude, don't fucking curse at me, motherfucker. You can see your fucking chat right here. Okay, so don't play that shit with me. Now, you know what? Suck my dick. You're fucking banned from my fucking live stream now. Fuck off. Have fun fucking vanishing into fucking obscurity, you little prick. I don't give a fuck what study you're fucking Googling right now, all right? I'm trying to find you one specific thing, okay? And I think I found it. I think this is it. And this was a whole bunch of legitimate scientists that determined these numbers. And it's fucking scary as fuck. It's just, there's so much shit to read through, man. I'm just trying to find the main bullet points of it. I don't understand 99% of this shit. I mean, they realize that, like, normal people try to read this, right? Diversity dynamics, what? Selectivity? Perfect storms. This is what I'm talking about. Now, that's something I understand. View to the future. Future work needs to standardize rate comparisons to adjust for rate measurements over widely disparate timescales. What did I just say? I don't understand this shit. It was so much easier when I could have just fucking Googled it. What are we talking about? Always token? We are talking about 2178 and a study that I read a while back. It was just basically bullet pointed from Google, and it talked about the study. And I went back and I checked the study, and it was a whole bunch of legitimate scientists. And I was just blown away at these numbers where they said we lose between 150 to 250 species a day from extinction. And when I heard that, I just couldn't believe the fucking numbers. So I started researching it a little bit. And I was like, how can that be, true that we're losing that many? And then, I see the pine trees dying in my front yard, and I'm like, yeah, I guess I could understand that. These trees are over 100 years old, and they're just dropping dead. So if these trees that are wood and resilient and made to soak up the fucking sun and soak up fucking water from the ground, and they're 100 years old and they're dropping like fucking flies in poison, then certainly more vulnerable species are dying too. And it started making sense to me, and then I started researching it, and boy, each one of these scientists has. Listen to what this is Yasmin Yonin. We do research around plastics in seashores and other aquatic environments, investigate plastics particles as technofossils, and also work on new detection and filter methods. It's fucking crazy. Each one of these scientists has their own amazing list of citations, and I just wish I could find an abstract or show abstract. This might be it. North America. Freshwater mussels are among the most imperiled faunas in North America and have one of the highest extinction and imperilment rates globally. Freshwater mussels. That's a food source for a lot of other animals. The raccoons go over there and eat those fucking things. I'm sure other shit does too. God, there's so much information. I mean, I could read all this, what I'm reading to you. Okay. Additionally, as the percentage of ice-free land directly impacted by humans has increased to around 70%, and the sixth mass extinction era since the Precambrian collapsed roughly 544 million years ago has unfolded, associated GPBs have multiplied with rising frequency, ultimately curbing prospects for further extensive predatory forms of economic activity and growth. They're attacking this goddamn study from every angle. Financially, globally, they're talking about plastic in the ocean. They're talking about global warming. They're talking about melting ice. They're talking about rising sea levels. There's so much data here. They're talking about fossils. They're defining what defines a mass extinction and what defines the fact that we've started a mass extinction. Assessing extinction. Of the 4 billion species estimated to evolve on Earth over the last... Okay. Of the 4 billion species estimated to have evolved on the Earth over the last 3.5 billion years, some 99% are gone. Um, 4 billion species 99% are gone. The balance wavers such that at several times in life's history, extinction rates appear somewhat elevated, but only 5 times qualify for mass extinction. They're defining what extinction is right here. Level varies depending on the analytical technique, but they all stand out in having extinction rates spiking higher than in any other geological interval of the last 540 million years. Those are the times when they consider it to be an extinction. It's amazing that we can look back in time like that. You know, we've come so far with science. Hey, Gary. Some observations suggest that humans are now causing the 6th mass extinction through co-opting resources, fragmenting habitats, introducing non-native species, spreading pathogens, killing species directly, and changing global climate. Man, let me give you guys a link to this fucking study. This is very similar to the 2011 study that I saw, but it's a little bit different. These are legitimate scientists from legitimate schools. They all do other research projects, and all of their information is available at that link, and you guys can check it out for yourselves. I'm going to try to fucking Google that fucking thing. All I did was ask Google. And it just came right up, 150 to 250. Okay, let me see what it does. Okay, Google. How many species go extinct every day?
According to HuffPost, scientists estimate that 150 to 200 species of plant, insect, bird, and mammal become extinct every 24 hours.
There it is! Oh my God, it's working again! There it is! Suck my dick! God, there it is! Fucking A. Are you guys all heard it? That's where the number comes from. I'm not fucking crazy. It was integral to this fucking conversation that you guys heard where I got that information from. I'm so happy I want to dance a jig, but I can't dance a jig on the fact that we know that there won't be any life left on this planet by 2178 just by doing those simple numbers. Now, we can finally move on to the next point. And the next point is this. The next point is 2178 ain't it. By the numbers, yeah, there won't be anything left by 2178. But none of that takes into consideration cascading extinction numbers and global warming and the effect that all of the Earth's factors that are detrimental to life are working exponentially in what Dr. Guy McPherson and other scientists have called climate feedback loops. And these studies from 2011, they weren't really thinking about global climate feedback loops when they were looking at extinction rates. And that is the bridge that I fucking built. And now you guys know it too. And Guy McPherson knows it too. Super smart big man, I love it. He says, we can still survive if we change our dietary habits to consuming water bears. Water bears can survive any environment. Okay, so maybe except for water bears, total global extinction by 2178. How's that? So there's the study, though, of basically the fact that we have started this extinction. that we're already in it. That's the study that I've provided for you. And you heard how I just got on Google and got that number of species going extinct. And I was conservative when I did the math, wasn't I? I was conservative when I did the math. So I'm just so satisfied that it finally came up on Google again, because I used to just do that. It used to just pop up. And I don't remember. Maybe I was wording it wrong or something. Every 24 hours equals bugs equals are going extinct. Maybe that doesn't make any sense at all. I'm applauding myself right now because I fucking found that goddamn Google. I bet your computer doesn't know. Computer. How many species go extinct every day?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, scientists estimate that 150 to 200 species of plant, insect, bird and mammal become extinct every 24 hours. This is nearly 1,000 times the natural or background rate, and say many biologists, is greater than anything the world has experienced since the vanishing of the dinosaurs nearly 65 years ago. Did that answer your question?
Yes, completely. Thank you. I love you.
Thanks for your feedback.
Billy, your thing finally worked, bro. If bugs go extinct, it would destroy the food source for many mammals, which would lead to a chain reaction of extinction. Bugs are already going extinct, bro. I don't know if you've realized that. Bugs are on their way out, man. Most bugs are already extinct, I think. It's, they're just hanging on. Yeah, I wish brown recluse spiders would fucking go extinct, man. I fucking hate those things. So I want to say thank you to everybody that's watching this broadcast that stayed with me through that struggle of trying to find that study for you guys. I know that study exists because you just heard Google come back with a report on it, and you heard the computer come back with a report on it as well. Both of them. Right. It's a good question, Corona Passer. It's a good question you ask. So we discover about 50 new species every day. We discover about 50 new species every day, but we lose up to 200. It's some math that you can't win. You know, we're not going to win it. And this is why. The species that we discover every day, Corona, those are species that aren't feeding world populations. Like, we're not discovering another form of rice. We're not discovering another form of wheat. We're not discovering another cow. You understand that? We're discovering microbes, or we're discovering a new algae. We're discovering a new kind of a bird or a fucking snail that we didn't know exists. You see the difference there? You know, some sort of a new grass or something. You know, a mold. And hey, man, I'm not ruling out that that something might be discovered or someone might figure out a way to fucking save the planet. I'm not ruling that out completely, but I'm not hedging any fucking bets on it, man. And let me tell you something. I'm totally off grid now. I'm ready. I'm eating my own food now. I'm doing the shit now. You guys can play around with your stupid conspiracy theories and your fucking rabbit holes all you want, but I'm going to be laughing at all of you dumb motherfuckers that came in here trolling my ass when you guys are hungry and hurting and wishing you had fucking running water. You remember this conversation, motherfuckers. I'm trying to help you little bitches out there. I'm trying to fucking help all of you fucking troll bitch motherfuckers. And for everybody that's not a troll bitch, you guys know how I feel about you. I love you guys. That's why I'm out here fucking telling you how to do this shit. Right. You get it? Super smart? Right. You get it now, right? You get it. Unless you are Corona Passer. Maybe he's finding species he can survive on underground. When that one guy's like, yeah, we can go underground. We can go underground and live, man. Hey, man, you and Elon Musk, go tunnel to your heart's content. But when you guys get down there, just remember, you're going to have to come back up here to get some fucking food. You know, unless you and Elon plan on eating each other. Elon Musk, the goddamn idiot savant. He's such a moron. The fucking anti-socialite. Trendy, one crazy thing is we still do not know what is at the bottom of the ocean. Yeah, I think we pretty much know what's at the bottom of the ocean, don't we? Yeah, we've traveled hundreds of miles in space. I don't know. Haven't we gone down to the bottom of the ocean? Haven't we sent like cameras down there and shit? I mean, maybe there's some fucking tunnels that go down deeper that we haven't gone down in. But as far as like the sea floor, I figure, you know, submarines and shit, bro. Like that will save you. All your stuff will be contaminated from Fukushima and Trump's deregulations of chemicals around your water sources. Fukushima? All your stuff? This stuff? This right here? You think this is going to be affected by Fukushima or by Trump's deregulation of chemicals around water sources? What, you mean my private well on my fucking 6 acres, bro? How's what, Trump gonna come over here and pour some goddamn chemicals on my property? What are you fucking talking about? You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about now. I mean, you got a silly fucking name, and you're just making stupid troll comments, and I'm just gonna fucking block you from my live stream because I just don't have time for morons today, bro. I don't have time for morons. This is more of an intellectuals video today, not a fucking butt-hurt trolls video. So go find somebody else, all right? I'm not your guy today. But not like that's going to help, right? Always Token? Nothing's going to fucking help. You discover shit on the bottom of the goddamn seafloor. Wow, great. Is it going to save humanity? Is it going to stop the fucking CO2 and the warming and the cascading extinction? Is it going to stop math? No. You know what? Nothing stops math. Okay? Math is key. Math is God. We're fucked. You know, and it might not be exactly when I say it, as I guarantee it's going to be a lot sooner. And, you know, Guy McPherson thought it was going to be, you know, didn't even think we were going to be standing here talking today. And he may have gotten his years wrong a little bit, but it's happening. It's all fucking happening. It's just a little bit slower than what he thought. All right. No law regarding cannabis. Cannabisism, tism for all. Cheers, everybody. Yes, humanity is a disease that is plaguing the earth. That is true. We are a virus. We're killing the planet. And everything else on it, too. We're killing everything. Curious Synonym says, water is not just at your fucking hole in the ground. It comes from somewhere. No, that's where you're wrong. You don't understand how aquifers work, bro. Aquifers are local, okay? They're not all connected. They're not all interconnected. And if you understood anything about drilling wells, you would know that you could literally be on a piece of property, man, less than a quarter of an acre, drop a well and hit nothing. And you can move over 20 fucking feet and drop a well and tap a goddamn aquifer. All right, you fucking idiot. You have no idea how aquifers work. And they are totally local. All right? My aquifer isn't connected to my neighbor's aquifer. Okay? And you know how I know that? Because my neighbor is only getting a certain amount of flow out of their well per minute. And I'm getting way more. And my other neighbor, they tap their goddamn well out. And I got plenty of fucking water up here. And I'm just a few hundred feet away from them. So I'm not concerned about some frack mine that's fucking 5 miles away from my house, bro. You're an idiot. And don't sit here and try to fucking come on here and act like you've got some kind of fucking intelligence when you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Piss off. I mean, Donald Trump and Fukushima are going to poison my well up here 3,000 feet in the middle of Northern California, an hour away from the fucking coastline. How does that work, you fucking idiot? And I want all of you to know, yeah, you'll be able to survive a little bit longer if you're living like me. You'll be isolated and you'll be away not only from people like Donald Trump and Fukushima, but idiots like that. You'll be isolated and you'll be safer. Consider it. A virus can't survive if it kills its host. That is true. The virus, we will eventually die too. That's true. We're strangling out the planet. We're strangling out ourselves. I'm still waiting on my growth. Yeah, it don't work like that. You sounded really stupid by saying that. 30 to 50% of the planet's species may be extinct by 2050. Yeah, Rob, you're not taking into consideration cascading extinction. You're not taking into consideration climate feedback loops. And it's not going to be 30 to 50% by 2050, man. A 2178 is a fucking pipe dream. And 2050 ain't going to happen either, bro. That's what I need people to start realizing. It's 2020 right now. You all think at this rate, you really think that we're still going to be here in 2050? Tisk, tisk, tisk. I was watching a podcast this morning, a guy that I found out about from Joe Rogan. And he's an AI, artificial intelligence creator. He writes software and works on AI. And it's when you listen to people like that, it's amazing. They're so caught up in their own technology that they're completely ignoring this technology. They're so, I should say this, they're so caught up in their own science that they're ignoring this science. I mean, how the fuck are you gonna have AI solving shit, bro? But in the year 3000, if we can't even make it to 20 fucking 40. Yeah, it doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. I'll just block you, dude. That doesn't what you just said doesn't even make sense. You know? What you said doesn't even make sense. I know what you guys are doing right now. I know what you guys are doing right now. You're thinking about what we're talking about. And you're going over it in your brains a little bit. And for some of you, you're in denial. For others, your denial consists of slightly attacking me mentally. You know, you're a little angry, and I understand. I'm just the messenger. These are all numbers that I got off the internet. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I do know this. I know about the pine beetle. I know about these 100-plus-year-old trees that have dropped dead in my front yard. And I know about these fires that we can't put out anymore. You could take that math that I gave you with a grain of salt. That 150 to 200 species are going extinct every day, I'm sorry. That you could take that with a grain of salt. These are all studies that other people did. But the one thing you can't take with a grain of salt, and the one thing you can't deny, is my anecdotal evidence of these pine trees, my anecdotal evidence of these fires is undeniable. And if you ignore those two facts, then you can go on your merry way and totally think that I'm wrong. But if you accept the fact that we can't put fires out like we used to, and we have the technology now, it's even better than it used to be, and we can't put these fucking fires out, number one. And number two, what the pine beetles did to these trees, if you accept those, then you're a 2178er just like me. You know? Because it ain't about the math, then it's about the evidence. And sometimes I'll be talking about this, and someone from Canada will chime in and say, you know, our trees are dropping dead over here too. Or someone from fucking Europe will chime in and say, you know, our trees are being attacked by a totally different kind of an insect now. You know? So when I call it anecdotal and I say it's right here in my front yard, it literally is. But other people start talking, oh yeah, it's global too. And I've got anecdotal global evidence from another side of the planet. Well, then you got to start giving me some credibility at that point, you know? I just try to bring you facts, guys. Zoe, we're up. Zoe, people are already starving to death. You understand? It's not 2050. God, man, it's like I get so angry. Zoe, people are already starving. Their food supplies are running out. Computer, are food supplies running low on the planet? Computer, where on the planet are food supplies running short?
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Okay, Google. Where on the planet are food supplies running short?
Here are some results from a search.
You guys don't even want to know. You guys don't even want to know. Even as demand soars at grocery stores and food banks, farmers are forced to dump milk and let vegetables rot. Here's why. So at this time, you have a surplus of food that people are fucking throwing away because we can't supply people with the food, and that's fucking horrible too. But imagine this. You've got people that are starving on the planet and you can't get this food to them. Mass euthanasia of livestock. And then mile-long lines for food banks. Over 36 million Americans are now unemployed, and food insecurity, which affected 1 in 6 Americans, will likely increase. And farmers don't have a way of getting their food out there to people anymore. We are headed for a world food crisis. The general population expected to reach 9.8 billion. Our food supplies will be under far greater. This is talking about 2050 as well. Isn't that interesting? Everyone thinks we're going to be around in 2050. Oh, in 2050. Oh, in 2050. Let's read what this study says about 2050. That we're all going to be here suffering in 2050, okay? Look. The world currently produces more than enough food to feed everyone, yet 815 million people, roughly 11% of the global population, went hungry in 2016, according to the United Nations. By 2050, here it is, with the global population expected to reach almost 10 billion, our food supplies will be under far greater stress. Demand will be 60% higher than it is today, but climate change, urbanization, and soil degradation will have shrunk the availability of arable, I don't know what the word arable means, arable land, according to the World Economic Forum. Add water shortages, pollution, and worsening inequality into the mix, and the implications are stark. Or if you were Ben Carson, not Ben Carson, my bad, man, my bad. If you were Herman Cain, you would say implications. Implications. Among those trying to mitigate the risk collapse are Richard Deverell, director of Britain's Royal Botanic Gardens, the gardens which house the largest and most diverse botanical resources, studying a multitude of food security issues, from wild rice varieties that require less water than their... why should we be concerned about it? Currently, only 12 crops account for 75% of all human calories. If a particular pest or pathogen arises, or a particular vulnerability to changing climates, right, the entire crop becomes vulnerable because of the lack of genetic variability within it. We've seen this happen before in the 1950s. The global banana supply was largely based on a single variety called the Gros Michael. The Panama virus wiped it out because there was a lack of variability within the crop. But I'm confident there are solutions if we make the right decisions now. There's about 5,500 different varieties of edible plants, and yet we have found ourselves concentrating on a very narrow selection. Another factor is the balance of vegetable-based diets versus... It was interesting when the guy earlier said, what was that, Super Smart Big Man said, we should fucking change our diets to water bear. And, you know, it's funny, but that's exactly what this fucking study is saying, is if we change our diet to a plant that can grow in extreme heat, can be grown on a large scale. We need to start that shit right now, man. That's what they need to be studying, is what plants can we do that with, and what can we feed the world with, man? That would be great, because that's what I see one of the worst aspects of our extinction. One of the key factors would definitely be us losing some of the food supply, I would think, due to, it getting warmer. And let's say wheat can't grow anymore, or rice, or soy, or beans, or any other kind of a thing that, people are relying on to survive, we're going to need to replace those things. And that's what they're saying. And when homie said water bears, bro, you were joking, bro, but you nailed it. We need to consider that, and that should be a major focus of study, a major focus of research. Somebody else said, do you think we can adapt? I say eventually, it's going to win. Eventually, heat's going to win, and we're going to lose. But we can survive for as long as we can, and that would be a way we could adapt for a while, is to find a crop that we could grow en masse that would feed the masses, that isn't susceptible to heat, that is low watering. What would that be? How many species did they say? There are about 5,500 different varieties of edible plants. And yet we have found ourselves concentrating on, what did I say? On only 12 crops that account for 75% of all human calories. Those are very important numbers, man. No thanks, Mitty. No thanks. Oh. Hey, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this Zoe guy. Zoe, let's block you so everybody can see. I waited for it to bump it up so y'all could see that shit. Definitely cactus. We're adapting to a virus right now. We're adapting to a virus. United States isn't adapting, I wouldn't say, K2, would you? Would you say the United States is adapting to it? Not my. Hey, bro, where you live, maybe you guys are doing good, but we're not doing such a good job. They want to start sending kids to school, bro. Adapting would be fucking starting to homeschool and shit. Not trying to send kids out. Edible and nutritious is a different thing, right? I don't know. I mean, as long as you can get calories and protein from it, I'll eat, as long as I can stomach it. Animals are necessary for a healthy soil, horizon profile, and natural biodiversity, not talking about factory farming. We're adapting to a virus right now. No way. You guys wouldn't say the United States is doing a very good job of adapting, huh? Me neither. Let global dimming take over and science figure ways to grow and supply. Get back to normal life. Corona pandemic is bullshit. You can cured from it just like a flu. Stephen J. Amaya, I'm blocking you from my live stream. And what I'd like to do, Stephen, if I could, is wait for you to get bumped up a little bit so everybody can see it. Like I did the other guy. I think it's funner when people can see me block you. Kitty Lighthouse, bats are good for you. Yeah, I would say stop eating bats. That would be good. The USA is number one in something. Yeah, well, Donald Trump promised us that we were going to be sick of being number one, and he was right. We're sick of being number one in the coronavirus deaths. The United States has, in the last 5 days, has got 1,000 deaths every day. The last 5 days in the United States, the last 5 days in the United States, we have seen 1,000 United States citizens' deaths every day. 5,000 people have just died in 5 days over here. When's my battery going to hit 100, bro? 95%. I'm pulling in... Right now, I'm pulling in... like 1,300 watts on my panels. We could check in with the panels and see how they're doing. Would you guys like to check in with the panels? Let's check in with those solar panels, shall we? You guys like that? A quick little check in with those solar panels. Look at that. Look at that. I'm just gonna cozy right up to them panels. I'm just cozy right on up to them panels. Lou Stewart, thank you for asking. It's a great question. Yes, I've got 96 solar panels out there on 3 arrays. Each array pulls in the middle of the day is pulling 30 kilowatts. So in a day, each array makes 60 kilowatts total. So I've got three arrays, and they're all making 60 kilowatts each on during this time of year, because it's a really good time of year. It goes down whenever it's winter and when it's raining and things like that. But right now, all these sunny days, I've got plenty of power to charge my batteries. I got 2 batteries, and each one of those batteries holds 18.5 kilowatts. So I've got 36 kilowatts, 37 kilowatts to run my home at night that charges every day. And that goes down to about 85%. I use about 85% of those 37 kilowatts currently. And then as soon as the sun is starting to hit those panels, you can see the sunlight in certain places, see where it's hitting the panels. I'm already charging my battery. It's already gone up from 85. It's like at 95% now, my battery. I was just looking at it. My battery is already up to 95%. And I can show you... I could show you my battery charge. See that line? See that dotted line right there at the top? That's 100%. And that line right there, the green that's filled in, that's the sunlight hitting my solar panels. That line in between, it's kind of a gold color. That is my battery charge. So right now my battery's charging. And the less power I use, the quicker those batteries will charge. And once they get up to that's funny, big man. Once they got up to once the battery gets up to 100%, I flip over my I actually, when my solar panels are in 100% sunlight, I can flip it, or when my battery's at 100%, I can flip it over and start sending power to the grid. I'm not sending power to the grid till I hit 100% because I want to charge my battery all the way up first. That's the first thing I do. I flip it over. Now this should be automatic, and it's a problem I'm having because I don't have these fucking CT sensors installed. Pain in the ass. And I think the company should change software so it can flip it automatically for me at a certain time. Flip the mode for me. I'm sick of doing this. Are solar panels like a battery? Has replaced every. Yeah, solar panels can only. Oh, each one of them has a lifetime, and yeah, they'll last. You know, 10 to 20 years, and you got to replace them. What I would like to do is buy 96 more solar panels and put them in storage. Just buy them right now, fucking put them in storage because I can afford it. And when these motherfuckers go out, just fucking replace them, and I'll be good for another 15 years. Should last me a lifetime. Looks like I'm blocked all over now too. Really, Billy? That sucks, bro. I hate to hear that. So I'm going to wait until I'm making some more power here. It says I'm making just about full power, which I don't understand. I mean, it doesn't, but this graph says I am. That's weird. Huh. Ah. Oh, I see. It's at a different scale. Okay. It's not rescaling. It's not rescaling perspective for the power. Okay, I got it. Yeah, those solar panels don't, if they're not in the sunlight, they're not being used. They'll last. They'll last in storage. I think they'll be more expensive. They're going to be more there's going to be a higher demand for them. So I think they'll be supply and demand. As the demand goes up, they will be more expensive. Unless some kind of a technology comes out, which that could happen too. Technology comes out that makes them very cheap. Or even a technology comes out that makes them last forever. But and that's possible, when you have a lot of people working on something. See, it's a big problem with humanity. We have companies like Shell and BP and Mobil, and they take all their scientific resources and they put them towards fracking and drilling and destroying our planet. Imagine if all of their resources and every other corporation's resources were put towards furthering this technology, we're fucked, because we got a bunch of greedy assholes that run this planet and run these corporations. Everybody's a fucking Donald Trump, And what can you do? Everybody's a fucking William Randolph Hearst. They're more concerned about their own self-interest, and they're blinded by that, and they can't see the forest from the trees, and they can't see that their own selfishness is murdering the future. And it's too late to change it. It's such, you could write a fucking book. Fucking sad, man. There won't be time for 1984 Orwellian type shit. We're going straight back to the fucking Stone Ages, man. And then we're all dead. And it's going to happen fast. I got to call this company and ask them to change this fucking software. Is today Sunday? Yeah, I got the day right. That's good. My Beazle baby boy. Beazle. Beazle. Beazle baby boy. I like to show the bees. The bees. They call him the bees. He keeps rolling down the road. Bow, 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 bow. Oh, I owe you guys a song, a rock and roll song, don't I? Fuck, I do. God, I'm so sorry about last night, man. I got called away because of the dog's ears. Remember that? Ugh. That's right. Ugh. I felt bad. It's like, hey, you guys press one, rock and roll, acoustic, did all that shit. And then, boom, I got called away. I remember that. I had to take care of my dog's ears, man. He was in pain. He was in the sadness, bro. He was itching. I keep rolling down the road. Well, now they call me the breeze. I keep rolling down the road. I ain't chained to nobody. I don't carry me no load. There ain't no change in the weather. Ain't no changes in me. There ain't no change in the weather. Ain't no changes in me. I ain't hiding from nobody. Nobody's hiding from me. Oh, ain't that the way it's supposed to be? Light, baby, I got to keep moving on. I got that green light, baby, I gotta keep moving on. I'm out of California, I go down to Georgia, I don't know. Georgia peaches make me feel right at home. Oh yes, I love them Georgia peaches, make me feel right at home. But I'm in love with men and women, so I can't stay in Georgia long. Woo! Well now they call me the breeze. I keep rolling down the road. please. So there's not 31 people watching this broadcast, are there? I didn't get a single chat that whole time. Oh, man. I'm sure it's not 31 people anymore, right? Would my chat die? 31. No chat. Chat, no? Chat is waiting for new messages. Cheryl, oh, my love. Thank you, darling. Thank you, honey. At least I got something. Something's gotta turn out right. If you please. My hands and fingers went completely numb. Both hands and fingers went completely numb while I was playing that song. I don't know how I made it through to the end, but you know, if you appreciate the music that I just played for you, press number 5 for me. Press number 5 if you appreciate the music that I just played for you. Thanks. Kelton, what's up? I have a solution to the rising sea levels. Yeah, how about I just block you from my live stream? Make room for the 5s. I'm gonna make room for the 5s. Anybody? Anybody? Up, Steve Running. Thank you. I got a 5. I just got a 5. Press 5 if you appreciate the music that I'm playing for you. Thank you. It's a beautiful little song. It's like, I didn't realize, well, the first time I heard it, I just thought it was a joke. The first time I heard it, I was like, he's not even trying. Cadillacs on 22s. I ain't done nothing, my life stayed true. I'm like, he's not even trying. He's not even trying to sing. And, you know, I heard it a few times, and I was like, it's kind of catchy. And then I heard it more, and then the more I heard it, and then I found out what it was about, and then the more I heard it, and then I was like, dude, you know, it's a really good song, and I like the way he sings it. It's fucking perfect, man. It's a really good song. What do I think of David Icke? He said some pretty stupid shit. That's what I think of David Icke. He said some really dumb shit. You know, he said some dumb shit that I've seen him say. It makes all kinds of noise, this thing. Rogan's fucking with the cat. That's a happy little song. Sometimes I wonder what people think inside their heads. There are times when I really couldn't give a care, as if they think that the world revolves around themselves. Makes me realize that this is just the atmosphere. So when I'm walking around the way I usually do, go to places and sometimes even think of you, and I break down the way I hate to do. Realize faces of strangers always makes me blue. I won't think twice since I'm turning my back on him. Oh, isn't it nice as I'm walking away from them? I'm haunted by the thoughts in my head. This image would be better instead. And I swear now, and I swear now, and I swear now, it's just me and you. And I swear now, and I swear now, and I swear I would not be better off dead. So now I've learned that the world can be an ugly place. The worst of times have brought tears rolling across my face, and not concerned all the ones I thought would still be near. They've packed their bags and hightailed the hell right out of here. Does this mean now that you are the only one around? Because the things that they've done have run my ship aground. Perhaps my friends were too strong to let you bring them down. There's just one thing to say before we hit the town. I won't think twice as I'm turning my back on them. Oh, isn't it nice as I'm walking away from them? I'm haunted by the thoughts in my head. This image would be better instead. And I swear now, and I swear now, and I swear now, it's just me and you. And I swear now, and I swear now, and I swear, and I swear now, and I swear now, and I swear now, it's just me and you. And I swear now, and I swear now, and I swear, and I swear. Dude, my fingers went totally numb again. All of them. Here, numb. While I play guitar. That has got to be the worst punishment, man, for a musician. I got the instrument, I got the talent, man, I got the technique, I know what I'm doing, and my hands go numb on me. I can't even make it through a whole song. I need a goddamn acupuncture. I need a goddamn acupuncture. I need a goddamn acupuncture on my goddamn back. My dog. Oh, my dog took off. I gotta go find him. Oh, he probably... Oh, here, he's right behind me. Hey, you. Hey, you, I love you. Can I get some love? Come up here. Let me see. Baby boy, come here. Come here, buddy. Come here, Roby. No? I can't get no love? I gotta take him outside, man. I want to go for a hike, and then I want to go rake some shit, and I gotta go take my chainsaw and go cut a goddamn log. Hey, maybe I'll set up my fucking, my camera, and I'll videotape me fucking chainsawing this log and rolling the log and shit, so you guys can see what a fucking masculine fucking lumberjack I've become. What do you guys think? It's gonna be awesome. I'll bring my camera with me. Psst, nobody brings the camera with them anymore, pal. Unreal. All right, so you guys are fantastic. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching the show. Definitely watch many episodes of Trini as Dabbers. I like to go on Nate's Garden. He calls it Nate's Garden now. I could go on there. I could watch all the interviews. Nate's Garden's got lots of interviews. I definitely like to watch the interviews. I definitely like watching the interviews in Nate's Garden. Go to Nate's Garden and watch the interviews. You gotta watch Nate's Garden interviews. NatesGarden.com. It's got all the interviews at the top. You gotta send Kyle Kalinske a message. You gotta send Tim Black a message on Twitter. Ask him to respond. Ask him to come on our show. Tell me we want to interview him. Really make a big difference in my life. I want to have him on the show. I want to interview him. I'm gonna make a big deal. I'm gonna get him 16 more subscribers. I'm gonna definitely get him 16 more subscribers. You should come to my show. Alright, you guys. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I'll be safe. You guys take care. Bye-bye.